when we're serving people who have had multiple barriers to employment, may have never worked before, minimum wage jobs, may have a background, may have children that they need to care for, no transportation, and low income, putting all those things together, it can be really hard to keep that high accountability when you're running into those issues on a daily basis. But that's why we have the support of our services and our community partners.
The challenges that I faced was the fact that I was like too young, I guess, definitely. Nobody really wants to hire anybody that's young. And I had a lot of troubles and stuff going on with school, so I couldn't really work because I had to stay at the school later, and it was just it was kind of draining at one point.
Being in the Connect, we had so many people to motivate us and to put us and show us, the right way to go. And that was Miss P and Mr. P, because I really didn't come from a place where, you had people to actually talk to and your opinion actually mattered. So it was just the personal challenges that I went through every day as a female, or just as an African American. It was just so many open windows when I was introduced to the Connect. So it just felt like a home, and that was one of the biggest challenges I had growing up. So once I was given a home, that was all for me.
Some challenges that I would say that young people have as far as employment would have to be knowing how to conduct a proper interview and what to bring on a proper interview, and also transportation, reliable transportation. Have a big challenge, young people, with having reliable transportation.
The landscape is disconnected. If you go into much of the organizations are saturated in particular areas, and we just have to start thinking outside the box. One of the partners that we work with is Safe Streets, and they bring to light many issues that organizations don't necessarily think of, like youth going into different neighborhoods that they have rival gangs, or they feel uncomfortable and they're willing to get the information, they're just not willing to travel what they have to travel to get it.
Most employers create their own barriers, in my opinion, to hiring the young men and women in Baltimore. But some of the resources that I think would be great for those employers would be resources, transportation, housing, tend to be issues that they deal with. And I would also say a lot of training for the leaders in our stores. So store managers at Starbucks would highly benefit from specialized training so that we can better understand those resources and help our partners.
You need to have some experience, you need to have some knowledge of what you're jumping into. Employers right now are looking at a workforce that's aging out. Manufacturers, statistically on average, your machine operators, your people running production are 57 years old and may have been with that company for 30 years and have 30 years worth of knowledge about that product and the way that company works. So what's going to happen when those folks retire and you haven't been able to cultivate a younger workforce to fill in when all that knowledge leaves? So people and employers are struggling to fill that gap. There's a huge gap in skills.
Numerous generations that are going to be moving out of the workforce, and we have to be able to replenish what we're doing from a work perspective. If we're not investing in the youth of today, we're not going to have the talent to necessarily continue to move things forward the way we have historically in this country.
We believe as Startup Maryland that the best pathway to a job is to become an entrepreneur and be your own boss and own your own venture and the equity associated with that. Until you own the business, you're not moving down a pathway of getting a multiple on a return on your time and attention as an employee than if you're the founder. So learning a job skill or a trade is critical because that's often the starting point for, what would my business be? Well, find something you enjoy first and find something that you're good at and that you can rally other people around. So we believe that entrepreneurship as a skill should be taught right alongside any career training for workforce development.
the Connect can definitely help anybody that comes into it with, just giving us the confidence just to be whoever we want to be. It's important because of the simple fact that when, certain companies see a 16-year-old walking in, they're just like, okay, well, I don't really want to hire you because of the simple fact that I don't know how reliable you are. So it's always important to be yourself because, it's always important to be yourself because of the simple fact that if you aren't yourself, I don't know, people won't really like you, the way they could. They won't see you how they should see you. So it's always good to, when going into an interview, just be yourself. Do everything that you possibly can to show them that you're the best candidate for that job. And it's just the Connect, it really did show me that I was the best candidate for any job.
One of their big functions is a work readiness criteria that we've been working with them to help develop over the last year or so. And what is really beneficial with that is the youth are getting very specific development skills before they are going into the workplace or coming to interview for an opportunity. And they also get the support through that network to help them with whatever needs they may have, whether it's developing certain skills, if they need assistance with something from happening within their life in community, whether homelessness or anything along those pieces. So the Connect really provides a valuable support system and also develops the youth in a more meaningful way so they are more prepared coming into your organization than they would have in any other fashion.
Over the past 2 years, we have hired over 20 youth from the Choice Program into several stores throughout all of Baltimore City. And I'm happy to say that many of those partners are still with us today, exceeding the industry average as far as turnover goes, and many are accelerating into different positions, including trainer positions and specialized positions within Starbucks in our stores.
The summit can achieve with bringing young people and entrepreneurs together to put in a perspective on how to fix the opportunity youth problem in Baltimore. I think it would be very unique to have entrepreneurs, employers, and young people together, which rarely ever happens. To young people can learn from employers can learn from young people, and get the misconceptions out the way and learn how to work together to fix the problem. So we all can win. And I think that's what the Connect unspoken goal and vision is, to make sure we all can win, employers, young people, and everybody.
So I think the fact that the Connect can bring so many entities together, government entities, training providers, community partners, I think that's thinking forward. That's very forward thinking. We can't do this ourselves, and it's not up to just one training provider or one organization or one government entity. It's all of us who need to be in this together to really tackle issues such as unemployment or tackle issues such as poverty, basically. It's up to all of us to really do this together and to connect. If we're not connected, we're not going to be able to connect people.
Just that it's a tremendous opportunity to work with young people who are seeking their greatest self, who are seeking to understand what their vision is for their life. And just being part of that opportunity is, just a tremendous blessing, to be able to share the wisdom of the ages through experience to young people who are eager and who are really trying to find their way, and to sort of shore them up on all sides and to let them know that we are really here for you and you're not doing this alone, and we believe in you and we will hold you accountable, and we have high expectation of you, and we know that you can manifest and grow into your greatest good. So that's the tremendous blessing that I see in working with young people.
When we all were listened to, it made us feel like we can actually do it. It made us feel like that's something that, I don't know. I feel like everybody loves to be heard. That's why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth.
In order to be heard, you have to be present. And I think sometimes we get caught up in this intergenerational gap, and a lot of times we're faced with some opposition, but that opposition isn't present here. So they just need to come with their full self, come correct, and come ready to spill some knowledge on these people.